The eldest daughter doesn't wake up one day and decide that she never wants to talk to her family. But many people just see this as a decision because they don't see the years or even decades that came before it. As a licensed therapist, I noticed something. The eldest daughter isn't running away because of one argument. She is walking away from a role that she was forced to play. And today I want to talk about it. If you are the eldest daughter and you were parentified and you were in a dysfunctional family, there were many roles that you had to play. You were the mediator, the second parent. You were the responsible one. You were the cook. You were the one that cleaned. You were the one that watched the parent that may have had addiction issues and nursed them so they can make it to work in the morning. You may even have to have a job so that you could pay the rent of your family. Many people do not understand that no contact was a decision you had to make in order to heal, to be able to regulate your nervous system. It was a form of self-preservation. And some of you are watching this video because you are experiencing guilt and shame for making a decision to go no contact or low contact. If you're new here, welcome to Heal the New Sexy, where I discuss all things. My name is Cynthia, healing, self-love, and relationships. So I want to just cover 5 reasons or 5 things that people may not understand about why you have gone no contact. The first one is no contact is often the last boundary. It's not the first one. See, there are people who will say that you're unforgiving, that you have turned your back on your family, that you just cut everyone off. But one thing is that they don't ask is how many conversations happened first? How many times were you disappointed? How many times were you taken advantage of? How many times were you manipulated? How many times were you lied on? Especially if you are like the black sheep of the family. How many times were you taken advantage of? How many times were your needs not answered and nobody was responsive to it? See, when people see you going no contact, they only respond to that, but they don't respond to the abuse that you endured for years. And for some of you, it didn't just end at 18. It was 25, it was 26, it was 37, it was 48 when you decided enough is enough. But the thing is, people, the system around you, in order for a dysfunctional family to work or to be able to thrive, there has to be a dysfunctional system that supports it and allows it to thrive. And the thing is that people, family members, friends, the church will support you being in a family where you are taken advantage of, but they do not support you when you make a decision that you no longer want to engage in that family. This is the thing. You will never allow a stranger to mistreat you. You would never allow strangers to take advantage of you. Have you ever been curious why systems and people will allow you to be in a family and say, well, you know what? Blood is thicker than water. But that's your mom, but that's your dad. You shouldn't turn your back on them. Yes, I know that they mistreated you. Yes, I know they favored your sibling over you. Yes, I know that they had addiction issues in their past, but that's your mom, that's your dad. Yes, I know they were inconsistent. Yes, I know that they married somebody, they turned their back on you, but now they're sick. So you should take advantage of them. You ever took a moment to say, where was this same system when they were mistreating me? Where was this same system when my father was inconsistent, where my mother was inconsistent? Where was this same system? See, people don't understand that this is not the first boundary. This is the last boundary, and it may have taken you years. And it wasn't until you got to your breaking point that you made the decision. I'm going to go no contact with them. How many times were you told that you were too sensitive, too dramatic, too emotional? How many times were you expected just to let it go? When your mother knew that her boyfriend was molesting you and she would leave the house and leave you there, but you're being told just to let it go. You're being told that you need to forgive. Even God is being weaponized against you, that you should forgive. No contact truly comes after years of trying everything else. Number 2, right? You may have realized that the relationship only works if you abandon yourself. See, this is one of the hardest moments in healing, is recognizing that your place in the family depends on self-sacrifice. See, you're expected to be available to everyone, understanding, forgiving, financially helpful, emotionally available. But when you need support, suddenly you're asking for too much. One of the Heal Squad members asked, how do we not replicate this in our romantic relationships? And that's why I became a coach, because I grew up in a toxic, dysfunctional home in which domestic violence was present. And then I saw that repeat itself in my own relationship. Now I went from living with a man who was abusive to my mother. Now I'm in a romantic relationship with a man in which I am abusive. Some of this same toxic behavior that you see in your relationships first was introduced to you in your family. And that's why I tell you all the time, if the same skills you needed to survive your family, you see yourself using in your romantic relationship, then it is not healthy for you. See, people get real confused why you are no contact. But then they'll be like, why didn't she just leave him? Y'all don't see the connection there? I was raised in a household where there was dysfunction, and that became the norm. And then I get in a romantic relationship. I don't know any different. And then people want to tell you online, oh, you should choose better. You should pick better. You should be more discerning. How do I know how to be discerning when I've been talked out of self-preservation in my home? In my home, I didn't have a voice to say no. In my home, I didn't have a voice to say that it's unfair. So in order to be in this relationship, I have to continue to engage in self-abandoning. In order to be in this relationship, I have to be enmeshed. I have to self-sacrifice. But we're not talking about that. So when the eldest child, when she is parentified and she makes a decision that she is going to disconnect from the relationship, because now that you've done your healing where you can you can't function in that relationship anymore. You can't continue to play that role because now you are seeing the dysfunction. I can see clearly now, the rain is gone, because now I see that this parent is toxic. Now I see that this parent engages in triangulation. Now I see that this parent doesn't keep their word. But meanwhile, I'm supposed to just take all of it and be understanding. When will somebody understand me? When will somebody understand what I need? When will somebody understand what I want? And these are the questions that you've been asking yourself for years. That they don't see me, they just see what I give. But people will be like, why you going no contact? That's your family. And this is the thing, people sometimes will invalidate your experience because they've never experienced it. It's one thing to grow up in a family system where it's healthy. It's another thing to grow up in a family system that's dysfunctional. And people who have not experienced dysfunction don't understand what it is that you're trying to explain to them. They haven't had a mother that disappointed them. They haven't had a father that was inconsistent. They haven't had it. They haven't had a father that was neglectful of them. They haven't. But then your dad comes back to, oh, well, I'm your daddy. You got to respect me. How can I respect you when you were never present in my life? How can I respect you when you told me that you would pick me up and you never showed up? How can I respect you when you favored other children over me? So you and my mom were together. Then you get together with another woman. And guess what? You abandoned me for her and her family. And now you want to come around and spin the block, talk about somebody I should respect you because you're my father. But you didn't raise me. You didn't show up for my birthdays. You wasn't there when I graduated. How am I supposed to respect you when you abandoned me and you neglected me? How am I supposed to respect you? Now, I'm not advocating being disrespectful, but what I am wanting to have an open and conversation about is that you can have complex emotions as it relates to your family and how they have treated you and interacted with you. And it's crazy for somebody to mistreat you and mishandle you, but then demand respect and love from you. Where they do that at? They want to use their title now as a way of power and say, no, you have to respect me because of the title, not because of how I treated you, not because I didn't show up as a way as a father or as a mother, but because of my title, you owe me. The eldest daughter goes no contact, right? Because healing makes old family roles impossible to maintain. See, therapy changes people, coaching changes people. Healing changes people. Boundaries change people. And the daughter that once tolerated disrespect or tolerated neglect or tolerated that her needs weren't met or tolerated that people minimized her. I talked about in the other video about how you could graduate top of your class and nobody celebrates you. Your brother can come out of prison or your sister can come out of prison and they're being celebrated. See, once you do your healing work, it's hard to maintain that role. It annoys you. It agitates you. Because they want you to play a role that benefited them, but doesn't benefit you. See, the thing is, when you grow up in a dysfunctional family, it's the role that they want access to. But you now, once you do your healing work, you realize I am a person and I am worthy of love. I am worthy of respect. I am worthy of care. I'm worthy of consideration. I'm worthy of more than just what I give. And then it's like, where is the reciprocity in the relationship? Who's going to care for me? I have to care for everyone else. But when I need care, where I need consideration, who can I lean on? If I need help financially, who can I lean on? See, the eldest daughter who is parentified, she learns quickly that I cannot depend on anyone. There's nobody that I can depend on. There's nobody who's going to come and save me. But it's expected that I have all of my stuff together, because how dare I tell them no? Because when I tell them no, now they're on the hotline. Now it's in the group chat. Now I'm a bad person. I saw a TikTok video of a young lady out of Eldest, Georgia. She was 16 years old at the time. She had a child. The mother and the grandmother got mad at her, beat her, took the child from her. She's talking to the police officer. She can't articulate her words because her baby was taken from her. She decided to press charges for kidnapping. The grandmother then cusses her out. And I said, yep, see, that's it right there. That's the cycle right there. The grandmother says, we're going to get Department of Family and Children Services. They going to come and take your baby. This is what you're going to do for us? You can't even take care of that baby. You can't get that baby pampers. See, I'm not talking about a one time somebody mistreats you. I'm talking about chronic people cussing you out, calling you out of your name, mishandling you, taking money from you. I'm talking about people, your family, your blood being abusive towards you. And you make the decision to go no contact. And the system says, why would you do that? But that's your mom, that's your dad, that's your brother, that's your sister. But when they witnessed them mishandling you, they had nothing to say. Not a thing. I'm talking about teachers. I even know caseworkers that'll watch a parent cuss out a child and say nothing. How is it that there's a report of abuse and neglect on this parent, on this child, and you gonna stand there and let that child be cussed out by this parent? That parent is giving all types of terroristic threats against that child. So not only did your biological family failed you, even I know children that were placed in care and the system, Child Protective Services, failed them. The church failed them. The extended family failed you. And now all of a sudden people are surprised. They don't understand why you went no contact. So healing makes old family roles impossible to maintain. Eventually, right, it becomes hard to unnotice the unhealthy family dynamics in which you were raised in. It makes it hard. It makes it difficult. I, as a licensed therapist, right, I'm not supposed to do this, okay? But it makes it, I can notice when somebody is dealing with delusions or hallucinations. If I'm walking down the street and I see something, I'll be like, oh, okay. Because once you see it, you can't unsee it. Once you become familiar with it, you can't become unfamiliar with it. You know what it is. And so, there is a role that my family wants me to play, Cynthia, and I don't want to play that role anymore. I had to escape. I had to go no contact. I couldn't keep staying there. I was going to drown there. I was going to die there. And so I said, this is the decision that I have to make for me. Number 4, guilt keeps many eldest daughters stuck for longer than love does. One of the Heal Squad members talked about feeling guilty for moving away. This is the thing. Guilt can be adaptive or non-adaptive. Guilt can also be attached to Guilt can be what we would call a manufactured emotion because it's attached to an unhealthy belief. If you were raised that family is first and that you can't abandon your family, that you always have to take care of family, even though that family wasn't showing up that way for you, then you're going to experience guilt. Because there is an unhealthy belief on the inside of you. See, many of us were raised that it was family over ourselves. That's why we get in a romantic relationship. You put that man before yourself. That's why you know how to self-abandon. That's how you know how to self-neglect. That's how you know how to self-sacrifice, because it happened first in your family. And when you make a decision to walk away or just to go no contact, now you feel bad about yourself because you were taught to put the family before yourself. That's why you may be in a marriage or in a relationship with a man and you feel guilty when you think about leaving, or you feel guilty when you do leave, because some of us have gotten in relationships with men that needed mothers, not partners. He wasn't looking for a partner. He was looking for a mother. I can't hear nobody in this place, but I know I'm talking right. So you feel guilt, right? Because many eldest daughters aren't staying because they're happy. They're staying because they feel responsible for your parents' emotions, responsible for your siblings, responsible for keeping everyone together, responsible for fixing problems that you didn't create. Parentification teaches children that love means responsibility. And when you make the decision to be responsible for yourself, now all of a sudden you feel selfish. No, as a healthy parent will teach you that there gets to a point where you are supposed to be concerned about you and you only. Take care of yourself, baby. Go on, baby. Go have some fun, baby. See, many parentified daughters don't even have the opportunity to really explore themselves because we were only taught to be responsible for somebody else. Some of us don't even know who we are until we go no contact. Then you're able to say, oh, I like this. Oh, I don't like that. I've never liked that. This is what makes me comfortable. This is what makes me feel safe. This is what I like to do. Because you were given a role. You weren't given personhood. You weren't given autonomy. You were given a role. See, and then the thing is, this type of you have a role. Then if you think about the church, the role for you is wife and mother, wife and mother. Wife and mother, not talking about you as a person. And then you feel selfish for taking care of yourself. You have a duty and an obligation to you first. Number 5, what people don't know is no contact is usually grief, not freedom. And this is the part many people don't talk about. No contact is not always empowering. It's heartbreaking because you're losing and leaving the only family that you've known. See, they don't talk about you had to grieve your childhood, but you also have to grieve the family for which you came from. Because even though it's dysfunctional, that's all you know. That's all you've ever known. Those are the only people you've ever had. See, people will categorize you as selfish, not understanding that you are grieving a childhood. You're grieving the love of the mother that you didn't get, the love of your father that you didn't receive, the love of your siblings that you didn't receive. You may still have a relationship with your siblings, but it's only for their benefit, for them to be able to get and receive from you, because they only see you from the role. They don't see you from the place of your humanity, because when you are in this type of family with this dysfunction, you are dehumanized. And enough people aren't talking about that. The dehumanization of the eldest child that is parentified, who has to give and is not given to. And this is the thing, because some parents will tell you, well, I made sure that you had housing. I made sure that you had clothes on your back. But guess what? You didn't give me nurturance. You didn't give me care the same way you did to your other children. You made me give to them what I didn't even know I had. I didn't know how to take care of a baby. I didn't know how to soothe a child. Why? Because I didn't know how to soothe myself, because it was never demonstrated to me. People don't understand the grief of understanding once you come to the place of knowing that you were robbed in your childhood. That you had to give to others, which wasn't demonstrated to you. You had to figure it out. And when you didn't figure it out, you were punished for it. Nobody understands how to grieve, that you have to grieve parents who are still alive. That you're grieving the family you hope would change. You're grieving birthdays, holidays, memories that never got made. You're grieving the childhood you deserved, but you never received. Nobody celebrates that. It's a loss. And people will still question you. People who value family differently and don't agree with what you've done, they'll question you. Oh, you going home for the holidays? Oh, you did this? Oh, you text your mom? Oh, you told your mom? You told your dad about this? And when you say no, I just don't understand. You need to forgive. Don't be a Christian. The Bible says you're supposed to turn the other cheek. You're supposed to forgive 70 times 7. I did that. How much more pain am I supposed to expect from them, or I'm supposed to accept from them? Listen, one or two things are going to happen. I'm either going to be in the jailhouse or I'm going to be up in the psych ward if this continues. I don't understand a society and I don't understand systems that expect women, because that's who I'm mainly talking to. You may have been the parentified eldest son, that expect women to continue to endure emotional and psychological pain because somebody shares the same DNA as them, but they don't expect your family to esteem you and treat you with respect and love and care and consideration. It doesn't make sense to me. It does not. It does not. And the same people that expect you to accept disrespect, to accept lack of love, will allow you to be in a relationship with a man doing the very same thing. When are you supposed to live a life that is satisfying to you, that satisfies your soul? When are you supposed to live a life where you are cared for and respected? When are you supposed to live a life where you don't have to give in order to be worthy? When do you live a life where you can just exist and you can rest? That's why many Black women have issues with rest, because you always had to be going, always had to be doing for somebody else. This is extremely problematic. And so I understand why parentified daughters make the decision to go no contact with their family, because I cannot accept the pain anymore. I can't continue to be the punching bag for my family. I can't allow my mom to continue to take her wrath out on me when she's upset with my father. I can't continue to allow my father to neglect me or to be harmful towards me, because there are some fathers that are very abusive, physically abusive, sexually abusive, mentally abusive. And I can't continue to allow that. And what I won't allow is for systems to gaslight me to stay in relationship with people who are not caring towards me, who are unkind towards me, who compete with me, who are jealous of me, who take advantage of me, who have abandoned me time and time again, who are too busy for me, but they want me to drop everything that I'm doing to be there for them. They will plan parties and gatherings and get-togethers, and they won't invite me. But when there's a family emergency, now they want me to be there. People need to understand, right, that no contact is being no contact is not the goal. Healing is the goal. And I believe that you need to do whatever you need to do in order to heal yourself. I want you to be empowered. I want you to go over to have the life that you not just deserve, but you dream of. Sometimes this healing includes reconciliation. So some daughters that go no contact, they decide that they're going to reconcile. For some, it includes that they never reconcile. Every family is different. The healthiest decision is one that allows you to be emotionally safe, not the one that makes everyone else comfortable. Because anybody who has an issue with you going no contact with your family is really showing you that they are more focused on the comfort of your family than you being emotionally safe and emotionally whole. See, your emotional safety, you being emotionally whole, is very important. And it has to be a priority for you, because it's not a priority for your family. Your emotional safety, your emotional being whole, right, was not a priority for them. That's why you were parentified. You were supposed to be someone's child, not someone's caretaker. And healing will start when you stop confusing guilt with love, when you stop confusing responsibility with love, because your parents had a responsibility to you. And what they did was they made you care for them and care for others. I want to hear from you down below if you made the decision to go no contact, or if you made, or you thinking about that decision. I want to hear from you down below. My name is Cynthia. This is Heal the New Sexy. Until we talk again.